thy forever. Neuropsychology quotes, in a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. Our dreams and stories may contain implicit aspects of our lives, even without our awareness. In fact, storytelling may be a primary way in which we can linguistically communicate to others as well as to ourselves the sometimes hidden contents of our implicity. Remember minds, stories make available perspectives on the emotional themes of our implicit memory that may otherwise be consciously unavailable to us. This may be one reason why journal writing and intimate communication with others, which are so often narrative processes, have such powerful organizing effects on the mind. They also allow us to modulate our emotions and make sense of the world. Each of us needs periods in which our minds can focus inwardly. Solitude is an essential experience for the mind to organize its own processes and create an internal state of resonance in such a state the self is able to alter its constraints by directly reducing the input from interactions with others. At the most basic level, therefore, secure attachments in both childhood and adulthood are established by two individuals sharing a nonverbal focus on the energy flow, emotional states, and on a verbal focus on the information processing aspects, a representational process of memory and narrative mental life, a matter of the mind, matters for secure attachments. Psychopathy is the sunlight overexposure can hasten one's demise in grotesque, carcinogenic fashion, but regulated exposure at controlled and optimal levels can have a significant positive impact on well-being and quality of life. Internal mental experience and not the product of a photographic process. Internal reality is in fact constructed by the brain as it interacts with the environment and the present in the context of its past experiences and experiences of the future. At a level of perceptual categorizations, we have reached a land of mental representations, quite distant from the layers of the world, just inches away from their place inside the skull. This is the reason why each of us experiences a unique way of mind in the world. Leaving our appraisal also would tend to render the biological description of a phenomena of emotion vulnerable to caricature that emotions without an appraisal phase are meaningless events. It would be more difficult to see how beautiful and amazing intelligent emotions can be and how powerfully they can solve problems. How dare a person tell a woman how to dress, how to talk, how to behave, and being who does that is no human. No, not all encounters with the world affect the mind equally. Studies have demonstrated that if the brain appraises an event as meaningful, it will be more likely to be recalled in the future. We must keep in mind that only a part of memory can be translated into the language-based packets of information. People used to tell their life stories to others. Learning to be open to many layers of communication is a fundamental part of getting to know another person's life. Call it order, call it chaos, all the brain. As all fields of human knowledge depend on the function of the brain, there is nothing to prevent the application of neuropsychology to disciplines such as economics, theology. There is nothing supernatural about visions, or to be more accurate, contrary or traditional belief. It's not messages from some extraterrestrial domain. Visions are indeed messages from a mysterious realm of light. But like the everyday realm of human perception, the transcendental realm, as well as of creation of brain chemicals. I won't go into details here, as I already did that in my early days. One of my earliest works, Autobiography of God, contains a detailed analytical account of neurobiology and of experiences. However, the question is not whether there is explanation explanation. The question, is it worth explaining? Because while sometimes the lack of explanation facilitates superstition, some things are better left unexplained, such as love. Neurons give, neurons take away. By neurons we forge ourselves, with neurons we fade away. We are the makers of observable reality shaped by hopes and biases of our own. If you are learning psychology to manipulate people, you don't need lessons, you need treatment. Never stop spitting rapid. Fear resisted is fear amplified. Fear embraced is fear relieved. Most fears are rooted in imagination. Observe yourself and all is revealed. Fear resisted is fear amplified. Fear embraced is fear relieved. Neurons can make or break the world. Time is memory. A body cannot survive in the vacuum of space. Mind cannot survive in the vacuum of time. Brain cannot survive in the vacuum of the skull. So it floats about in the fluid of the spine. People usually revenge the younger version of themselves, and not the actual aggressor. As a crutch, some obsessively concern themselves with the personal lives of others as an act of denial from their personal life. There's a spit and rap and never ending. Again and again, I had stopped at a florist on my way to his apartment and bought myself an extravagant red rose for my buttonhole. Now I removed this and I handed it to him. He took it like a botanist or a morphologist, given a specimen, not like a person given a flower about 6 inches in length. He convoluted a red form with a linear attachment. It's just like eating, she explained. I put his usual clothes out in all the usual places. Mere neurons are active when a person is recognizing their own face. The very fact of self-reflection may have been made possible via mirror neurons, which allow us to reflect on an internal representation of oneself. The brain is not idle, passively receiving information, but produces perceptual expectations, influencing how sensory information is ultimately interpreted by forever neuropsychology freestyle.